Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host, Nathan P. Butler, wearing a Star Wars shirt this time, and I am the author of A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to US Star Wars home video releases, which probably if you're watching this channel, you may already know, but always gotta put that out there, right? We're circling back this time to a topic that's been revisited multiple times here on the show, ever since episode number 21 of this series, which was quite a while ago, years ago. But we've circled back to it repeatedly because of different reissues or different releases of a particular item over the years as they've slowly come into my possession. This time is a little bit different because we're looking at something actually supplemental to the original episode rather than another release. Back in that episode, we looked at this, The Making of Star Wars. And this is a special version from 1995 that has a different narrator, Don LaFontaine as the narrator in this case, and it was a special mail-away type thing that you had to get through Corn Pops. So you got your cover in the back. You know, we've looked at all this stuff in detail before, but as I said at the time, this was something only available through a mail-away. And I could tell you all about the mail-away, but not really show you anything from it except the actual product that came in the mail once you sent off your proof of purchases or whatever. Well, thankfully, a gentleman who's been a help to this show in the past, a guy by the name of Paul L., who was the person who sent off those behind-the-scenes 16mm reels for me to take a look at and show you all here on the show, has decided to step in again and donated some things to my collection, including something that'll be illustrative of exactly what it looked like back in 1995 if you were thinking about ordering this behind-the-scenes special. Now, I would note here that you can find a video about this item that we're going to look at, plus some of the other items that he sent, some of the other items that he's hung on to as part of his collection and whatnot, over on his YouTube channel. His YouTube username is Meowza3K. It's M-E-O-W, like a cat, M-E-O-W-Z-A 3K, with the 3 being the digit. Just search for the video on his channel called What's in the Star Wars Box. You'll see this, some of the Ewoks lobby cards that he sent my way, things like that. All in that one video as he was going through part of his collection. There's also a video on there where he actually shows those 16mm reels called Farewell to Film, which I pointed out back when we covered those in an episode of the show. But what he sent this time that is apropos to discussion of this is an actual box from Corn Pops from the time in which this offer was being made. Something that I, in my naivete, never even thought to hang on to. So that is this, and that's what we want to take a look at, just to give you some context for this. So we have our Corn Pops, the top of it, just regular, okay? The bottom of it, though, did say, exclusive video offer, The Making of Star Wars, free with 2 proofs of purchase, see details on back panel, okay? Then you've got your side with all your nutrition information, nothing Star Wars-y there. You've got then the front of the top, good source of 10 essential vitamins and minerals. See side panel for nutrition facts. That's there, of course. Fat-free, cholesterol-free food. Awesome. And yummy. Corn Pops are yummy. Corn Pops, crunchy, sweetened, popped-up corn cereal. Just call it corny goodness and you're good. Gives your weights and everything there, but it says exclusive offer. You got Yoda, Vader, and Wicket. The Making of Star Wars video. Free with 2 proofs of purchase. No other fine print there. You go to the back and the side panel, that's where you're going to see stuff. And then on the part of the top panel that is underneath the other panel, whenever it, or the other flap, whenever it's closed, has that same thing as what the bottom had. But then you got your back panel here that says The Making of Star Wars and gives you all the details. And then you have your information about how to get it. So let's run through that. You do have your proof of purchase there on the bottom. And again, this is another one where this part is actually covered up when it's originally bought because this is the part that folds on top of it. Alright, so it says, free video with 2 proofs of purchase. See side panel for details. Exclusively from Kellogg's Corn Pops. To commemorate the final video release of the original theatrical version of Star Wars, you can now order The Making of Star Wars. To receive this exclusive free 50-minute video, not available in stores, complete the official order form on the side panel and mail it along with 2 proofs of purchase from bottom panels of Kellogg's Corn Pops cereal. Again, that is those things there, the UPC symbol there, you don't really see that as much these days, as far as proof of purchase being sent off for anything. It says, The Making of Star Wars, and in bullet points gives you some highlights. Experience an insider's look at George Lucas' science fiction masterpiece. Hosted by C-3PO and R2-D2. Relive the adventures of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. Go on location from Africa to England and witness the building of the film's extravagant movie sets. Watch the filming of key scenes and the theatrical wizardry behind the amazing special effects. Sit in on interviews with George Lucas. Then at the bottom there, it has the films as they were released that year. Remember, this was 1995. This is the year of the THX remastered editions, which were based on the definitive collection master for Laserdisc from 1993. These were the regular VHS non-widescreen versions right here. And then, of course, it has to advertise that because that's what this release is trying to promote. And it says, last chance to own the original version of Star Wars. Remember, at this point, it's 1995. They actually hadn't announced they were going to make any changes to Empire or Jedi, so it was just the original version of A New Hope, or Star Wars, that people were concerned about and what was being advertised. Remember, the original, one last time. And all of that. That's why it said original, not originals. They weren't talking about the original trilogy in its original form one last time. They meant the original first film in its original form one last time. But then it says, for those who remember, and for a whole new generation to discover, the original theatrical version of the Star Wars movies with THX digital mastering for the ultimate in sound clarity and picture quality. Look for these videos in stores near you, available for a limited time. So, I think the phrase in there gives us a hint that we would eventually see special edition versions of Empire and Jedi, but at the time it hadn't been announced. So this is more what we were hearing. This is more of a, at the time we would have said, oh, well, they say original versions, but of course we'll be able to get the original versions of the other two. They're not just going to change those two, they're just changing the original, right? And yeah, the nitpicking would have turned out to be incorrect at the time, in context at least. Then you just have your copyright info right there. Then you got your side panel here at the top. Kellogg's Corn Pops, then free with 2 proofs of purchase, The Making of Star Wars video. Exclusive offer. Experience the magic of one of the biggest motion pictures ever released by sending for your free copy of The Making of Star Wars video. Complete this official order form and mail it in along with 2 proofs of purchase from bottom panels of 10.9 ounce, 15 ounce, or 18.8 ounce sizes of Kellogg's Corn Pops cereal. At the bottom, of course, we have the same 3 characters again. For a subscription to Star Wars Insider Magazine, or to receive a Star Wars merchandise catalog, call 1-800-TRUE-FAN today. Oh, God! 1-800-TRUE-FAN was the phone number? These days, that would blow people's minds because everybody on the internet thinks that they are the arbiter of what a true fan really is. You would have had crank calls to this like crazy, or have that phone number put on telemarketing lists like crazy, just to bombard them to go after them because, you know, automated phone calls would be that era's equivalent of internet bots. I'm sorry, if your fandom movement is so widespread and so passionate, why do you need to use bots to fake online poll results? Sorry, I digress. But yes, the phone number used to be 1-800-TRUE-FAN. Imagine how many people's heads would explode these days if you had a number or a website or something attached to anything specific to a certain type of Star Wars that said True Fan in the name. Anyway, I digress. Again. And then there's your order form. It says, official order form, The Making of Star Wars video, mail to, tells you the address. Please send me, it actually says, please send me 1, The Making of Star Wars video. I have enclosed 2 proofs of purchase, UPC symbols, from the bottom panels of 10.9 ounce, 15 ounce, or 18.8 ounce sizes of Kellogg's Corn Pops cereal, along with this official order form. Limits. 1 item per official order form, and 1 order per mailing household. Print plainly. Please include zip code. And then it asks for your address stuff, of course. The offer expired December 31st, 1996, or while supplies last. And it says any ones that are postmarked later than December 31st, or any duplicate submissions will not be honored or responded to. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery, etc., etc. All the usual stuff for a mail away there. So this is what you would have seen in stores and thought, dude! Would they say dude? Yeah, 1995? Dude! New Star Wars making of video! And then you send off for it. And of course, then the big surprise whenever it arrives is that it's new packaging. It's a new video per se. It's got a new narration. In fact, it's an exclusive narration in the sense that this is the only version that has that narration on it. But that this was a special that aired on television back in 1977, nearly 20 years before, 18 years prior to this offer. But that was the way to get this through Corn Pops. You had to follow the instructions and use proof of purchases. There we go, right there. From this. And thanks very much to Paul L. for providing this to me to put in the collection and to highlight here on the show. This is one of the things that I wish I'd had on hand to be able to put in a Saga on Home video. And you can bet that when the next edition of this comes around, say in 2020 or so, this will be included. So thanks again to Paul. I just wanted to give you that as a chance to see something similar to what we've looked at before in terms of promotional items and whatnot, but in this case, something that was not something as a bonus to go along with something to get you to buy it, but the initial information about how to get your hands on something, in this case, The Making of Star Wars, as highlighted back in episode number 21. With that, I'll wrap up this episode. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Paul. May the Force be with the home video viewers. Especially if they're eating Corn Pops. Corny goodness. You know, honestly, I think that's probably a good nickname for this channel, too.